full screen. You would like to do it? It's full screen.
Sorry?
Full screen sharing.
Yes, yes.
Yes, please. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. You may start.
Good morning to all of you. I welcome you to this presentation. My first presentation is on National Board of Accreditation and Impact of Washington Accord. Actually, this Washington Accord agreement was signed by initially in 1989 by 6 countries, including US, Britain, etc. And then it kept on, heading into this. And these accredited in those countries which have got this agreement, which have signed this agreement, they are recognized. The engineering graduates of those countries are recognized by the signatory countries, and it is just possible that there will be a possible employment of these graduates of these countries in those countries without further examinations. The signatories are, these are the signatories: Australia, Bangladesh, Canada, and so on. You can read this slide. So these are the current signatories of Washington Accord, and India became a signatory in 2014. So far as the NBA accreditation is concerned, there are 2 types of accreditation done by NBA. What is Tier 1 for Tier 1 institutions and for Tier 2 institutions. Let me tell you that Tier 2 institutions are still not covered by Washington Accord. Although NBA is talking to them continuously so that the Tier 2 institutions can also be covered under the Washington Accord. But presently, only Tier 1 institutions are covered, and there is a main focus on program outcomes. Major focus is on program outcomes. The Tier 1 institutions are universities, central universities offering technical education, state universities, deemed to be universities, and also the institutions which are autonomous. So that means those institutions which have the right to write their own curriculum, to define their own curriculum, those institutions are covered under Tier 1. The general policy of education is that the programs are they are run uh, at least for 2 years. I mean, two batches graduate minimum. That is the conditions. When the team goes for accreditation, they do findings for each criteria, and the findings are either Y, C, W, or D. So Y is a compliance if marks are equal to greater than 75%. C is the concern if marks are equal to 60% or less than 75%. W is a weakness in a criteria if the marks are equal to 40 or less than 60%. And D is the deficiency if marks are less than 40%. The full accreditation for 6 years can be accorded to any program which has no deficiency or weakness. There should be no deficiency or no weakness, and concern should also be in not more than 2 criteria. So this is the basic condition for accreditation of Tier 1 institutions. And for 3 years, the condition is that if the program has deficiencies in not more than 2 criteria and has full compliance in not less than 3 criteria, and most important condition is that there is no deficiency in the faculty contributions. Let me now come to the outcome assessment. See, this self-assessment report, which is SAR, this was done in 1915, and then it has been rechanged again in 2025. So earlier, there were 10 criteria. 3 criteria were the institute level criteria, and 7 criteria were program level criteria. But now they have made a change. The program level criteria are 8, and the institute level criteria is only 1. And these criteria are outcome-based education, outcome-based teaching learning, outcome-based assessment, students' performance, faculty information, faculty contributions, facilities and technical support, continuous improvement, and the shoot one is student support and governance. You must be seeing here that the maximum marks are for the faculty information and faculty contribution, which are 220 marks. 120 marks are for first 4 and for the institute level criteria, 80 marks for continuous improvement, and 100 marks for faculty information and for facilities and technical support. So this
Sir,
total of 1000 marks. Yes, please.
sir, can you make it in a slideshow so that it can be?
Sure. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Yeah. So these are the marks which make a total of 1000 marks. So this is the recent SAR, which is which has been redefined in 2025, and the institutions have given the right that they can either submit the old SAR or this new SAR till June 2025. After June 2025, there is no choice. After June 2025, they have to fill up only the latest SAR, which is the 2025 SAR. Let me first give you some definitions. The first definition I want to give about the vision and mission. So when we talk about the vision, it is the futuristic statement that an institution would like to achieve over a long period of time. See, earlier, this time period should have been 50 years, 40 years, 30 years, 20 years. But now, because the things are changing very, very fast, and therefore, now you cannot define a vision more than 10 years. So generally, we now define the vision for 10 years. And the mission statement, generally this vision statement is a single statement. And the mission statements are essentially which mean to achieve this vision. Okay. For example, if you take a vision that create high quality engineering professionals, then mission one will be offer a well balanced program of instruction, practical experience and opportunities for all our professional development and so on. I'll give an example of vision and mission. For example, this is the vision and mission of an institution. The vision is to be an institution of global standing for developing professionally competent talent contributing to nation building. And to achieve this vision, these are the mission statements. You may go through these mission statements. Can you hear me properly? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
The next is the program educational objectives. Actually, when we start a program, before starting the program, we must define the program educational objectives, because it is these objectives which are seen by the prospect parents who want to admit their students, their children into that institution, into that program. And therefore, these are defined, basically, they should be defined before a program is started. These POs are the broad statements which describe the career and professional accomplishments that graduates are expected to attain within a few years, maybe 4 to 5 years after graduation. And these are the objectives which are based on the needs of the program constituency. Wherever you are starting a program, in that constituency, what are the needs of that program? Based on those needs, these PEOs are defined. Guidelines for PEOs, they should be consistent with the mission of the institution. The number of PEOs should be manageable. They should be achievable. It is not that we define a PEO which cannot be achieved, and they should be specific to the program, and they should not be too broad. And it should be based on the needs of the stakeholders. So these are the basic guidelines to prepare the PEOs for a particular program before you start that program. How to evolve PEOs? So in order to evolve PEOs, we consult the stakeholders. As you all know, stakeholders are industry, alumni, students, management, professional bodies, faculty, parents, employers, and the society at large. So these,
Sir, excuse me, sir.
yes, please.
Sir, we have been attending these similar lectures for last few days, and the initial criteria have been covered sufficiently by many of the experts. So can
Okay.
you please focus on some of the criteria which have not been covered significantly, and those are kind of faculty contributions, student achievements, and those kind of things.
Actually, my topic is on the outcome assessment. Okay. So
So
I'm
how the outcome
covering
of the
the
faculty and student can be one is the teaching courses. Do you mean like only courses COs and POs is
no POs, COs, etc. I will discuss all.
Yeah, that will obviously be discussed by you. And can you little bit give because you have already introduced the different criteria. So can you please little bit give some idea about faculty and student contribution while your regular delivery? You may not change your whole presentation, but we request that if, at least for 5 to 10 minutes, if you can focus.
Okay, at the end I'll give it. All right.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So this is how we talk to the stakeholders. We get data on the future trends. We prepare draft POs in line with mission statements. Get the feedback from the stakeholders and then finalize POs. So this is the example of PO for electronics and communication engineering. You can go through these. Now, program outcomes. Have you been, have these been defined earlier?
Yes, sir. We have discussed about program outcomes.
Okay. So these are the statements, which our students are expected to know. All right.
Sir, but we'll need some guidelines on program specific outcomes, like
Yes,
what kind of statement should be there.
Yeah, sure. So these are the program outcomes, definition of the program outcomes, and these are linked with the knowledge and attribute profile. So there are 9 knowledge attribute profiles, which are WK1, systematic theory-based understanding of natural science, WK2. Have these been told to you? Have these been defined?
No, sir.
Hmm?
No. This.
No. Okay. So these are the knowledge attitude profiles which are now linked with the program outcomes. So earlier, there was no knowledge attribute profile, but now some of the program outcomes, they are linked to some of these WKs. So these WKs from WK1, which says about a systematic theory-based understanding of the natural science applicable to the discipline and awareness of relevant social sciences. WK2 is conceptually, basic mathematics, numerical analysis, data analysis, statistics, and formal aspects of computer and information science to support the analysis and modeling. WK3 is a systematic theory-based formulation of engineering fundamentals. WK4 is engineering specialist knowledge that provide theoretical frameworks and bodies of knowledge for the accepted practice areas in the engineering discipline, in the forefront of discipline. WK5 is knowledge which includes the use of efficient resource use, environmental impacts, life cost, reuse of resources, net zero carbon, and similar concepts. WK6 is knowledge of engineering practice in the practice areas in engineering. WK7 is knowledge of role of engineering in society. WK8 is engagement with selected knowledge in current research literature and in the discipline, awareness of the critical thinking and creative approaches. And the last WK9 is ethics, including behavior and conduct, knowledge of professional ethics, responsibilities, awareness of the need of diversity, ethnicity, gender, age, physical ability, etc., and mutual understanding and respect, and of inclusive attitudes. So based on these, they are now earlier there were 12 POs, but now they have defined 11 POs. And these POs you have already been told. And here the PO1 is linked to WK1 to W4, WK4. PO2 is linked to WK1 to WK4 again. And this is linked to WK5. PO3 linked to WK5. PO4 is the investigation of complex problems linked to WK8. PO5 to WK and WK6. PO6 to WK1, WK5. PO7 to WK9. PO8, PO9. So these two are not linked to any, but these 7 POs are linked to WKs. PO10 also not linked to any, but PO11 is linked to WK8. Now, generally, let us come to the program-specific outcomes. Generally, we define 2 to 3 PSOs. Okay? And these PSOs should be very specific to the program. They should not be the same as the POs, but they should be very specific to the program. For example, for electronics and communication engineering, there is a PSO can be analyze and design analog and digital circuits or systems for a given specifications. So any electronics engineer, any electronics and communication engineer must know how to analyze and design analog digital circuits or systems. And also should know design, develop, and test communication systems for real-time applications. So these two are not the part of POs, but they are very specific to electronics and communication engineering. So when you define PSOs, you must look into minimum two, maximum three, which are very specific. You want your graduates to have those capabilities. So only those PSOs are to be included. For example, applied petroleum engineering, PSOs can be, which can integrate geological and geophysical data for carrying prospective mapping of hydrocarbons, operate and design various types of drilling rigs, carry out maintenance of reservoirs, etc. Automotive design engineering or mechanical engineering. A graduate must be able to evaluate thermal performance of IC engines under different fuel modes, investigate the troubleshooting of automotive systems. This is also one of the very important criteria which they should know, and design develop automotive systems using modern tools. This third one is quite similar to the POs, but it can be included. Now let us come to course outcomes. So you have been explained about the course outcomes? Yes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are the narrow statements, right, which you should know. And the little skills, knowledge and behavior. These are student focused, not teacher focused. Okay. They should be aligned with POs. So each CO should correlate with some PO, very important. Focus on the abilities. They should prepare students for the program. Focus on aspects of learning. It should be minimum 4 to 6. And specific, it should be measurable, very important. Any PO or this should be measurable. Now, have you been explained about the Bloom's taxonomy?
Yes, sir. It is covered already.
It is covered. So some of the quite a large portion is already covered. Yeah. Just 1 minute. Can you hold for a minute?
Sure.
So I go very fast. This was started in 1956. So initially Bloom's taxonomy had 6 components: knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Okay, and there is a term known analysis and synthesis. So I've explained here because this is always a problem. People don't understand what analysis is. So analysis is systematic examination and evaluation of data or information by breaking into components. And this is examination of data and facts to uncover and understand cause-effect relationships. And synthesis is the act of combining different ideas or things to make a whole that is new and different from the items considered separately. So these two terms are very commonly used. Now there was a further revision in Bloom's taxonomy. It was remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Again, there was a further revision which was done by Anderson and Cartwall, and it has only 4 levels: 1, concepts, analysis, application, and integration. Concepts, able to recall or remember facts, and the verbs used in these concepts these are the verbs which are used in concepts. Analysis, ability to break down information into components, and these are the verbs used in the analysis. Then application, ability to apply the knowledge, the concepts to solve problems, and these are the verbs used in application. And finally, the integration, to put parts together, and these are the verbs used into this. Now, writing course outcomes, I will not explain. They have already been explained. So generally, course outcomes one of the course, it should be there. I mean, include course outcomes of one course per semester in the SAR. Number of outcomes should be around 6. And the CO should have various levels of complexity as defined in the Bloom's taxonomy. And what we have done, we have defined the course name as CPQR, year of study, YYYY.YY. For example, C202 is the course name and year is YY. Now, this is the course articulation matrix. Have you been explained this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in this course articulation matrix, these are the courses, and for each course outcome, we define the link to a particular program outcome or a program specific outcome. The correlation 1 is slight, correlation 2 is moderate, and correlation 3 is substantial, which is high. All right, so we define either 1, 2, or 3, depending upon a course outcome, which is linked, which has a correlation with a particular PO, and those COs which have no correlation with any PO, we leave blank or a dash. We don't put 0 here. Each course, we take the average of the, for example, here, we take the average over here, the C202 of all these, the last column. Okay. So these averages for each course are placed for each course into this program articulation matrix. All right. So they are either 1, 2, or 3, or fractions of that. Now, in the outcome-based assessment, these are the parameters. The first parameter is evaluation of continuous assessment. When the team comes to evaluate, they will evaluate these criteria in the outcome-based assessment. The first is evaluation of continuous assessment, assignments, unit tests, midterm, etc. 10 marks. Then evaluation of the semester examination, question paper, 10 marks. They will go through your semester examination papers. Then evaluation of laboratory work and workshop, again 10 marks. Evaluation of industrial training or internship, again 10 marks. Evaluation of projects, these are 20 marks. Evidence of addressing sustainable development goals. This is the new one added over here. So they have to see whether you are addressing the sustainable development goals or not. So this is very important, which has been added now. Then the attainment of course outcomes, which are 25 marks. And finally, the attainment of program outcomes, which is again 25 marks. So there's a major change in this 2025 SAR, where the marks have been changed quite significantly. The attainment of program outcome was quite high, attainment of course outcome was quite high, but they have been reduced now. And instead, the marks have been distributed for these criteria. Now, when you do the outcome-based assessment, you see you use certain processes, right? And you collect the data. And these data which you collect are basically, they are specific examinations or tutorial questions. Specific examinations can be your tests, end-term examination, mid-term examination, and so on, your tutorials, assignments, laboratory tests, evaluation of your project, student portfolios, and seminars. Generally, student portfolios are not there in the previous one, but in the new one, they have included the student portfolios, where every student has got a portfolio, right, which demonstrate the skills, personal characteristics, and accomplishments during their career, during their 4-year period. So what we do, we define the attainment levels for each course. They are set based on the average performance in the last examination. So what we do, for example, and these course outcomes, these attainment levels are defined for each course by individual teacher. The teacher who teaches a course, that teacher will define the attainment levels for that particular course. And the basis of defining the attainment level is, for example, if a teacher is teaching a course this year, so what he will do, he will take that course, which was the same course which was taught last year, and he will find out from that course what is the percentage of marks average that the average number of students got, and what is the average percentage of marks. Okay, so in the last examination of that paper, he will find out how many students got the average percentage of marks in that particular paper. So that will be defined as level 1, and then you add another 10% level 2, add another 10% level 3. This is example, just an example. There can be variation in that. Now suppose a course is added first time, and that course was not taught last year. So what he will do, he will, after teaching that course for about first 15-20 days, he will take a test and then find out the average marks and the number of students who got that average marks. On that basis, he will define attainment level 1. So here there are two variables. One variable is the percentage of students, and other variable is the percentage of marks. Please remember that the percentage of marks are constant always. Okay, we don't change the percentage of marks. What we do, we change the percentage of students. This is a variable. So variable is the percentage of students, and the percentage marks is constant. Okay, so suppose 60% students got average of 70% marks in the last examination, then that we define as level 1, and then we add 10% to it, so that is level 2, and then we another add 10% to it, so that is level 3. Now let us first come to the end term assessment. In the end term assessment, suppose the question paper had 9 questions, and these questions were related to each course outcome. Every question must relate to a particular course outcome. And suppose question number 1 was linked to outcome number 1, question number 2 was linked to outcome number 3, question number 3 to outcome 1 again, question number 4 to outcome 4, question number 5 to outcome 5, question number 6 was again linked to outcome 4, question 7 to outcome 3, 8 to 2, and 9 to outcome 5. So there are 5 outcomes, okay, defined for this particular course. And the attainment for question 1 was as shown here at 2, 3, 4, 5, high, high, medium, low, high. Okay, so this is the attainment for each question, each course outcome, and therefore we calculate the attainment of 202.1, which is high and medium. So we take the average 3 plus 2 by 2, which is 2.5. Outcome 2, 202.2 has only linked to one particular PO, one particular question, and that is question number 3, and this is medium. So this is, sorry, 202.1, 2.2 is related to high, 8, question number 8. So this is high, which is equal to 3. Question number, outcome 3 was linked to question number 2 and question number 7, so high and low. So this is average is 2. Outcome 4 was linked to question number 4 and question number 6, which is high plus medium, which is 2.5. And outcome number 5 was linked to question number 5 and question number 9, both high. So this is 3. And therefore, we calculate the attainment of 202. We take the sum and average. So we sum these 2.5 plus 3 plus 2 and so on, divided by 5. So this is the attainment of 202, 2.6. All right. So that means it's substantial. So attainment of 202 is substantial. Okay. Now, if the end term examination targets are achieved, then all the course outcomes are attained for that year. If right, then program is expected to set high targets. A very standard thing. For a particular course, if the targets are achieved, that means for next year, you have to set a high target. And if the targets are not achieved, then you have to prepare a plan, action plan, to so that the target can be achieved in the subsequent years. All right. Now, the teacher who is teaching that particular course, suppose for that course the target is not achieved. All right. So if the target is not achieved, then it is the responsibility of the teacher to indicate the action points. What was wrong? What could be the improvement? All right. And wrong cannot be, you cannot say that the students are weak. No, that cannot be an excuse. Therefore, if you have not achieved a target, then you must indicate the action points, and that file must be passed on to the next teacher when he will teach that course again, and he will go through those action points and improve next year when teaching that particular course. Okay, please remember that these course files are to be passed on to the teacher who will teach that course next year. All right. So these course files have to be maintained, and the teacher who teaches that course next time, he must very carefully go through that course file, and you must be knowing about the course file. In course file, there are all details of the program, curriculum, etc. The test details, the marks details, the outcome details, and so on, and even the experience of that particular teacher and what went wrong, what was very good. He faced something. He had a very good experience, so he must indicate, or he or she must indicate the experience and as well as the action points if the course outcome were not achieved. All right. So in that case, here you can see that the CTU 202, the attainment is substantial. Okay. Now let us come to the attainment through internal assessments. Now the target for internal assessment may be different than the target for the end term examination. Okay, it is not necessary that you define the similar targets for both the internal assessment as well as the end term examination. Now, example here, suppose you have a midterm test, and that term test addresses outcome 202, right? 20 outcome 1 and outcome 2, okay? And out of these, maximum 20 marks are for test, 12 marks are associated with outcome 1, and 8 marks are associated with outcome 2. Suppose, okay, there is a question paper which addresses outcome 1 and 2, okay, and you define that part of the question which addresses outcome 1 as 12 marks, and that part of the question which addresses outcome 2 as 8 marks. Now, here we have defined the targets. Okay, as I told you, the targets may not be same as for the theory course. So these are the targets that 60% students scoring more than 60% are level 1, 70% more than 60% are level 2, 80% more than 60% are level 3. Okay, so these are the targets. Now, if the targets are achieved, then 202, outcome 1 and outcome 2 are obtained for that year. So the program is expected to set higher targets for the following year. Okay. And if the targets are not achieved, then there should be an action plan to attain the targets. Okay. So similar target achievements are to be stated for other midterm tests or internal assessments. So let us say that question 1 related to target 1, okay, 70% students have attained more than 60% marks. Okay, so that means attainment level is 2, moderate. Similarly, in question 2, which is related to target outcome 2, 60% students have attained more than 60% marks. Okay, then it is the level is low. All right. So outcome 1 attainment is moderate. Outcome 2 attainment is low. Similarly, suppose outcome 3 attainment is high, outcome 4 attainment is low, outcome 5 attainment is moderate, and therefore the attainment level in internal assessment for course 202 is 1.8, which is the average of these. So it is moderate. All right. So in the internal assessment, the attainment of this course 202 is moderate, and the external assessment and external examination, internal examination, the attainment was substantial, which was high. So this is how you calculate the attainment for a particular course. Is that okay? So if we find out the attainment of the total course, okay, example is 202 again. So attainment through internal examination is 2.6. Attainment through internal assessment is 1.8. And let us, depending upon what percentage we give to the intern, what percentage we give to the intern, continuous improvement, continuous examination. Suppose it is 50-50%, okay? Then the attainment of that course now is equal to 50% of intern plus 50% of internal. So that is equal to 2.2. Okay. So this is how we have calculated the attainment of course 202. Similarly, every teacher who is teaching a particular course will find out the attainment of that particular course. So all these attainments calculated by the individual teachers who are teaching these courses will be sent to the course coordinator. Okay. So the course coordinator will get these attainments of each and every course. Now, here generally what happens that, like I'll come later on, there is a graduate exit survey. All right. But it is preferred, it is not necessary that a teacher, when teaching a particular course, takes a course exit survey also. All right. So that means at the end of the course, he gives a survey, he defines all the COs, and then indicates whether how much do you understand, low, medium, or high. The student will tick that. He will set the level, what level he wants to set for it, and then he will take the survey, will analyze that survey. Okay, so we'll devise the strategy to assess the course outcomes, and generally 80 to 90% weightage is given for the direct assessment and 10 to 20% for indirect assessment. Let me tell you the difference between the direct and indirect assessment. Direct assessment is which is calculated, which you can compute, and indirect assessment is assessment by perception. Okay, you may, when you calculate the direct assessment, you may calculate for a particular student. I mean, he may feel that yes, the attainment of that course was done. Suppose you say that for C202, the course attainment is moderate, all right, or suppose it is substantial. But when you ask a student, he may say, yes, it is substantial. I understand all these course outcomes. But one student may also say, or some of them may say that, no, we don't understand. It is a perception. And therefore, to get the perception is also important. All right. So some weightage must be given to the perception of the students. And that is how we get through indirect assessment. All right. We don't give a high percentage to this indirect assessment. Generally, the percentage is given with 10 to 20%. So 80 to 90% is given to the direct assessment and 10 to 20% is given to indirect assessment. But let me tell you that it is not compulsory. It is not necessary to do the exit survey for the course. If you do not this survey, you can give 100% to the direct attainment for the course, particular course that the teacher is teaching this course. Now let us come to attainment of the POs. So POs are also have two ways of finding the attainment. One is the direct attainment and other is the indirect attainment. Okay. Direct attainment is by taking the average across all courses, addressing that PO and PSO. We use fractional numbers also. And the indirect assessment is by perception. And generally, we do 3 surveys for the indirect assessment, attainment, that is student exit survey. After the graduation, when a student is in the final year, we take the survey. Okay. We send a notification to the employers, that survey. Okay. And to the student, to the employers. Okay. And also to the parents. Okay. So that's attainment is generally done through these two: exit survey, survey through the employer and through the parents or any other agency you may feel like. So how do we do the attainment of POs and PSOs? In the program articulation matrix, you must have seen that each PO, each course is related to certain POs. Okay. And therefore, a particular PO must be related to a number of courses. There should not be any course which is not related to any PO. Or there should not be any PO which is not related to any course. Very important. So your curriculum should be such that all POs are addressed or PSOs are addressed. None of the POs remains unaddressed. All right. So let me assume as an example that the PO2 has been mapped to 4 courses: 202, 302, 303, and 401. Okay. And the attainment will be based on the attainment levels of these courses, which are direct assessment and indirect assessment. Now, generally, for university system, we give 80% weightage to direct and 20% weightage to indirect. Okay, it depends on you. It depends upon the university or the institution. They may define weightage to direct and indirect. It may be 85-15, it may be 75-25, and maximum it will be 70 and 30. Not more than that. Don't give more weightage to the indirect. So this weightage can be defined by the institution concerned. Now let us come to the assessment of the POs, PO2 as an example. So this is without correlation. We are not using the correlation. Suppose we say that the course C202 attainment is moderate, which is 2.2 we already calculated. Suppose course 302 is again moderate. Suppose course 303 is low. And suppose course 401 is 3. These 4 courses are related to PO2. Okay, 202, 302, 303, and 401. It may be more than 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No? So for each course, we have got the attainment from the teacher concerned. So we get those attainments. And the attainment level for PO2 through that assessment is now the sum of all levels divided by the number of courses. So this becomes 2.05, which is moderate. So we have got the attainment of PO2 this way. Now, if we use the correlation, which will be more accurate, so the 202 correlation was 1, 302 suppose correlation was 3, 303 suppose correlation was 2, and for 401 suppose correlation was 3. Okay. So attainment of PO2 through direct assessment will be sum of all levels upon sum of correlations. So 2.2 into 1 plus 2.3, 2 into 3 plus 1 into 2 plus 3 into 3 divided by the sum of correlations 1 plus 3 plus 2 plus 3, and this comes out to be 2.13. So this is the exact correlation which we have used, and this is the more accurate assessment of PO2. Now the in that assessment, we have done the parameter survey, we have the alumni survey. We can do alumni or parent survey. Perhaps alumni survey is better, and then the employer survey. And we give 5% weightage to the employer survey, 10% weightage to the alumni survey, and the 10% weightage to exit survey. So we issue a notification in which we define these levels for PO1. He may take if it says that PO1 no, very poor, and he may take 5 if the understanding of PO1 is excellent, and so on. So the employer or the alumni or the graduating student can tick any of these 5 for each PO and each PSO. All right, this is the survey that you receive. Once you receive this survey, all right, you analyze it and then fix the levels, right? For example, if 60% of the people give 3, then it is level 1. If 70% of the students give level 3, it is 2. If 80% give level 3, it is 3. Okay, so this is how you define the levels, the targets. And once you define the targets, you can find out the attainment, indirect attainment of by the program, by the exit survey, similarly by the alumni survey, and by the employer survey. So you get these data, you analyze these data, you fix the targets, and based upon those targets, you define the attainment level. So this, you average them. You don't know, for each you get this, you get right? You get attainment for exit survey, attainment for alumni, attainment for employer survey. Okay. Now, in that assessment of PO2, you did the analysis, you defined the levels, and let the attainment level of PO2. So that assessment be true. All right. And therefore, you calculate attainment level of PO2 is 75% of direct assessment and 25% of indirect assessment. All right. So you do 2.1 into 0.75 plus 2 into 0.25. So your attainment is 2.75, right? So this is how you calculate the attainment of POs and PSOs. Now, because I skipped many things, so the program, the presentation that I had prepared is now over. Now you are telling me about to give you some idea about the faculty information and the faculty contributions. Okay, shall I do it?
Sir, we'll take some of the online comments, the queries.
Okay.
So first one is from Dr. Lakshmi Narayan Oja. He is asking what is the basic difference in tier 1 and tier 2 institute in terms of SAR and POs?
SAR and?
POs, program outcomes.
Okay, there is no difference. Hardly there is any difference. Hardly there is any difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then the next question is from Dr. Lakshmi only, that is it necessary to start the PEO statement with the word shall?
With?
Word shall. That
Yes,
the institute.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
It is necessary.
Okay. So these are the two questions we have on the online from the online participants, and we can continue now, sir.
Okay. So do we stop?
Yes, sir. So now we can discuss on the faculty contribution which you were saying.
Yeah. Now, the first is the SFR. All right. So SFR is has somebody taken the SAR? They have not taken the faculty information and contributions. Am I right?
No, sir. As per the new SAR form, I think we can discuss this in detail.
All right. All right. So SFR is, you know very well that this is the student faculty ratio. And here we define these programs, UG programs or PG programs in that particular department. Okay. So we include UG and PG programs in that particular department. All right. And then what we do, see, we have, for example, suppose intake in that particular program. This is the table which indicates about the number of students admitted in first year, then the number of students who are left over, number of actually students who are admitted, and number of students in the program to be considered for SFR. So this is how we calculate. For example, in case 120 students were there, left only 0, so 120 will be considered. In next one, the actually admitted students, including later entry, are 12. So this will be 132 and so on. So this is how we consider the number of students admitted in that program based on this basis. Okay, we reduce the leftovers. Okay. Now, here is one thing very important. You see, whether the students are admitted 60 or 75, the taken will always be 120. We'll always take the intake. It is not important to know about the number of students admitted. We'll always take the number of students what is the intake. With that intake, if the students are left, we'll reduce it if there is a full intake. If there is a less intake, then whether the students left or not left, we'll take total 120. Okay? And plus the admitted to the lateral entry. So you should know very clearly that here the number of students will always be taken as the number of the intake minus the leftover if intake is full, admitted is full. If the admitted is less and left are and there are left, then we'll take the intake as usual. Okay. Then for the years, we take first UG. All right, UG, second year, third year, and fourth year for all UG programs. So, what was the intake in the current academic year, what was the calculation that we have done over here? So that calculation in CAY M1 and CAY M2. Second year, so this CAY M1 of UG1 will be same as CAY M2, CAY of UG1. Okay, C. So this and this will be same. This and this will be same. So we will fill up over here the number of students in second year in CAY M1 and CAY M2. Number of students in third year in CAY M1 and CAY 2. Fourth year and so on, and we'll add those. So we add these, so we get this. So similarly, we'll do it for next UG, and then PG, all PGs. And we'll add all those students over here. Total number of students, okay. All UG, all PG, okay. And then total number of faculty. And finally here, the total number of students, total here, see there are two values, F and FF. F is the total number of faculty members in the department and allied departments. Okay, the total numbers. Whereas FF is the faculty members in F who have 100% teaching load in the first year courses. Please remember here that a faculty of a particular department, if that faculty is not taking 100% of first year, that will not be counted in FF1. That will be counted in F1. So if a teacher is teaching a course in first year and a course in second year or third year or fourth year of that program, then he will be counted full and he will not be counted in FF1. Very important. There's a lot of confusion over here. For example, in all branches, workshop is taught. So if a teacher is teaching a workshop and he is taking a workshop as well as some other course of that mechanic of that first year, electrical or computer science, whatever it is. So then he'll be counted full in F1, will not be counted in FF1. In FF1, only those teachers will be counted who are taking 100% load of the first year. All right. So we'll reduce that from calculating the SFR. So you take the total faculty of the department minus those teachers who are teaching 100% of first year, that will be dividing the number of students in that. Okay, so this is how you calculate the SFR for each year, and then you take the average SFR.
So
So this is
there are
how-
a couple of questions.
Any question?
Yes, sir. First, is it mandated to have FF1? What I mean is, can we have 0 as FF1?
Can we have 0 as?
FF1. So meaning we don't have any
Yes,
faculty
yes, you
who
will
are
have 0.
dedicated only
Yes,
to first year.
no. First year somebody must be teaching. For example, mathematics or English or physics or chemistry. So they are also belonging to the same department. So those teachers will be excluded.
Okay.
But if you have a mathematics course in second year also, and that teacher is teaching in first year and also in second year, then that teacher will not be taken in FF.
Sir, this might not be a generic issue, but the issue or the situation in our institute is we have specific departments of mathematics and physics,
Separate department.
and their faculty come and teach those specific science, humanities related
So you
subjects.
did not do, yes, then in that case, they will not be, they are separate, we will take them 0.
Okay.
Okay. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now faculty qualifications, these are same. Yeah. They are defined X, Y, and RF. S is the number of faculty with PhD degree. Y is the number of faculty with MTech or ME degree. Okay. And the required faculty is the ratio of the total number of intake divided by 20. Because 20 is decided by AICTE. SFR ratio, what AICTE says it should be 20. Okay. So what you do, you calculate this, use this formula 2.5 into 10x plus 4y divided by the RF. RF is equal to the total number of students divided by 20. Students means the intake. Intake means the intake which had been defined earlier in that last column. All right. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Faculty cadre proportion. Right? This is taken the ratio of 1:2:6. There should be 1 professor, 2 associate professors, and 6 assistant professors. All right. So total are 9. And therefore, you use this formula to calculate these. This is the formula given, very clear formula is given over there. All right. This is the required faculty. You know the required faculty, total number of intake divided by 20, and available is what is actually available. For these are professors, associate professors, assistant professors. You calculate these, all right, and finally you calculate the proportion. And if AF1 and AF2 is 0, then you get 0 marks. There is no professor, there is no associate professor, then it is equal to, you get 0 marks. Let us come to the visiting or adjunct faculty professors or professors of practice. There is a condition for this, that if you have a visiting professor or adjunct faculty or a professor of practice, then he should be teaching minimum 50 hours per semester, per year. All right. So if a visiting faculty is not teaching 50 hours per year, he will not be counted. And you have to fill up this here, name of the person, designation what you have given, name of the course, number of hours. All right, in all these 3 years. Okay. Now please remember here that the
There is a
faculty
question. Just a
should
second.
have minimum master's qualification. ME. If you have a visiting faculty who is having B or BTech, that will not be counted.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Sir, as you mentioned that the teaching hours should be 50 annually.
Yeah.
So it should be inclusive of both lab and theory or only theory?
No, it's all.
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 Okay, sir.
But please remember, minimum post-graduation.
Sir, so here in the document it is mentioned as 50 hours of interaction. So interaction or teaching, both are the different things.
Yeah, I told you, interaction means he should be teaching, majorly should be teaching. You cannot say that he interacted for a project. The project you can say that these many hours were interacted by him for the project. So you can show the interaction for the project, for teaching, and the end teaching. Okay. Project can be included in that.
Can we also count the interaction like attending the department meetings or BOS meetings?
No.
Okay. So it should be only with the students.
Yes, with respect to teaching.
Okay. With respect to teaching learning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, faculty retention. So you calculate the RF. You calculate number of AF, right? Number of faculty members at the current institute with less than 1 year of experience, between 1 and 2 years of experience, and between 2 and 3 years of experience. You calculate these, okay? And then you calculate with between 3 and 4 years of experience, and between 4 years, more than 4 years of experience. And then you use this formula and you calculate the average of R. A very clear formula has been given. All right. So you know that with less than 1 year experience, less than 2 years, less than 3 years, less than 4 years, or more than 4 years. All right. And then use this formula and you calculate the faculty retention. It is very clearly given over here. All right. Is there any question?
No, sir.
Now let us come to the faculty contributions. First is the membership. It has got 5 marks. So this is the first table. All right. So indicate the membership of the societies. So if a good number of faculties is the membership, they get marks depending upon. It is not very accurate, It is depending upon the visitor concerned, the expert concerned. So he will give you marks, any marks between 5 to 0, depending upon how many people are the members of the professional societies. Then the faculty resource persons has the STTPs, FDPs. It has also got 5 marks. So this is the table you have to fill up. And there is a formula given. Now this has been added. 6.1.3 has been added. The faculty contribution in development of Swayam or MOOCs courses. Now this also has got 5 marks. So your faculty, as much as faculty gets the certification, those will be counted. Either the course developed and available online on SWAYAM platform. So this is regarding how many people have developed the courses which are available on SWAYAM MOOC. And this is the 6.1.4, the faculty certifications. How many of them have attended the courses, passed that courses? So depending upon these 10 marks will be given. So 6.1.3 is regarding the courses developed by the faculty, and 6.1.4 are the courses also attended by the faculty and got the certifications certifications got by the faculty. Okay, so if your faculty has not developed any course, then they get 0. But if the faculty have got attended the courses and got the certification, then they'll be counted out of 10. Okay. Shall I move forward?
Yes, sir.
Then the FDP is organized by the department. Okay. 6.1.5 indicates the STTPs or FDPs organized by the department. All right, the name of the program, date of the program, duration of the program, name of the speaker and designation, and the organization, and the number of people who attended that. So this also has got 10 marks. And the minimum duration of this should be 5 days and 2 points for per FDP.
So, sir, this is 2 points per FDP means on an average it will be counted. So if we have 30 faculty members, then total number of faculty development programs attended by colleagues.
No, suppose, no, this is not attended. This is organized by the.
Organized, right. Okay.
Yeah. If you
By the
organize 2 FDPs, 1 FDP.
So is there any limit like, okay, 5 days it should be there, minimum?
It should be 5 days.
Maximum.
Maximum you get 4 marks per assessment year. Okay, suppose you organize 2 FDPs in year CY M1, CY M2, CY M3.
Sir, one question is there, like FDP organized, can we count the ones which are organized within the institute, or it should be outside only?
No, within the institute.
Within the FDP is mostly within the institute.
Yeah, organized by you.
Okay.
So suppose you get 4 points in each, you get 12, but you will not be given 12. Maximum will be 10. Okay.
Understood, sir.
Now, faculty supported student innovative. This is also new. You see, earlier they were not distinguishing between the organization and the admission, the attendance. Now they have done it, between organization and the attendance. All right. Similarly, in the MOOCs or SWAYAM, development and the certification. So this time they have done faculty support innovative projects. Now, sorry. So whether you have attended the FDPs, you have organized the SDPs over here, right? FDPs they were done only for organization. Now, student innovative projects, 10 marks. This is also new. Name of the event.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. I have a question, sir.
You see, this is about the attendance in hackathons, codathons, ideathons, open research, etc.
Sir,
Yeah.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Mhm.
Sir, if the host institute is organizing an FDP and the faculty of the host institutes attends that FDP, will it be counted?
Yes, it will be counted.
Okay, sir.
Absolutely.
So,
Okay.
sir, this 6.1.6, this is not involving the normal regular projects which are
No.
offered in. So these are additional things like
Yes, yes,
hackathon
yes,
and all,
yes, yes, yes.
or any participation in national or international
Yes, yes, yes.
competitions.
Hackathons, codeathons, ideathons.
Right. And where faculty was a mentor for the team.
Yes,
Okay.
you're right. Okay. 6.1.7. This is also been added new. Faculty internship or training. How many of your faculty go for internship or go to a company for a training?
Sir, what should be the minimum duration of these kind of interaction?
It is not very much indicated over here, but
Okay.
it should be a minimum around 10 days, something like that.
So like 1 day or 2 day industry
will not
visit
do.
will not be counted here.
That will not do.
Okay. Okay. One more question is there. If there is any MOU for a collaborative work, that will be counted. And there is some outcome in that MOU.
Yes, it will be counted.
Okay.
If the elaboration MOUs with the industry.
Right, sir. So MOU within industry, and then there is a
With
project.
certain output, yes.
Right. 3 month or 6 month
Yes, yes.
collaborative
That will
project.
also be counted.
Right.
Okay, shall I go to 6.2?
Yes, sir. We can go.
This is R&D. It has got 60 marks. So first is for the papers, number of peer-reviewed journals, number of peer-reviewed conference, and number of books.
Okay. So, how many marks do we get for how many numbers?
No, they are not indicated.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but is there any generic guideline like how much it should be there?
Yeah, it will depend upon the number of faculty people.
Okay.
So if the number of faculty is 10,
Okay.
so paper should be minimum 10
Fine, sir. In 1 year or 3 years?
in 1 year per
1 year.
faculty.
Okay.
Now, next is PhD student details. Students enrolled and students who have graduated.
Okay, sir. There also, do we have any like numbers? How
No,
many?
it depends on how many there are the professors and associate professors.
Okay.
Okay. So, so if you count those,
Mhm.
then around equal to the number of professors, associate professors should be the
Okay.
people enrolled,
Okay.
and some number, related number should be those who have graduated.
Fine, sir.
At least one person should be involved, enrolled with each professor, associate professor, on an average. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Now the next is development activities. You have the patents granted or working models or prototypes developed in last 3 years.
Fine. So again, it will be with respect to the number of faculty members in the department.
Absolutely, absolutely. Next is sponsored research projects. Now contribution is now 15, which is less than what was earlier. And they are very clearly defined that if your sponsored projects are more than 20 lakhs, you get 15 full marks. And if less than 1 lakh, you get 0 marks. And you have to indicate the PI name, co-PI name, if any, name of the department, project title, name of the funding agency, duration of the project, and the amount.
Sir, this amount 20 lakh, 16 lakh is for the whole assessment period.
Yes, during the assessment period.
Okay, sir.
CYM1, CYM2, CYM3.
नहीं, उस पीरियड में कितने पैसे हमें सैंक्शन हुए हैं? प्रोजेक्ट 40 लाख का था, पर उस साल में 10 लाख मिले तो 10 काउंट होंगे?
नहीं।
ओके,
हाँ, अगर मान लो साल जो आपको रिसीट हुई ना,
राइट सर,
हाँ, तो वो अमाउंट जो है उस साल में
अमाउंट रिसीव्ड इट विल बी काउंटेड.
Yeah. It depends actually. Actually, some experts, they take the total amount which has been
sir,
given to that year, which have been funded, which have been approved.
Okay,
And
so
some indicate that you must tell us how much money has been received during that
Okay.
year. But
Fine.
what you do, you indicate here the total amount funding that you have been given in that particular year.
fine, sir. And then later the team can see which
They
one
can
to
see.
accept.
It is up to them.
Right, sir.
But
Okay,
you indicate the total funding.
fine.
Don't
sir.
indicate the receipt here.
Okay. Okay, sir, if there is a project which is in collaboration with other institute or industry,
Your share.
so we have to mention only our share.
Yeah.
विशाल सर को, खत्री सर को देना.
Hello.
Yes,
Sir,
please.
sir, if the project is industry sponsored project,
Yes.
and suppose the amount is 10 lakhs,
Hmm.
and in that case, the 8 or 9 lakhs has been spent in the industry itself, and only 1 or 2 lakhs have been given to the institute as a part of the consultancy. Then how much amount we can mention?
1 lakh. 1 lakh.
Or what type of evidence or proof we need?
No consultancy proof. Yes.
So that would be considered in the consultancy project, not in the
Yeah,
sponsored
that will
project?
not be the sponsored project.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Right.
Now
So
here,
this institutional
in the
seed money-
consultancy,
Okay.
only consultancy projects will be considered. Infrastructure-based projects will not be considered.
Okay, so here also the consultancy amount which is received will be mentioned.
Absolutely. Which is sanctioned to your faculty.
Okay. 10 का था वो.
All right. Now this another 6.2.6 has also been added recently, seed money. Do you have a system of seed money?
Yes, sir, we provide seed money. The option is there.
But do you receive, do they receive the money?
So that data we'll have to see how many of them applied and how many
Yes,
got it.
yes. So if it is greater than 6 lakhs, you get 3 marks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, this is for the whole assessment year.
Yes. For CYM1, CYM2, CYM3.
Sir, here we have a concept of research grant, which is 1 lakh per faculty member for every year.
Yes.
So that will be counted here?
Yes.
Okay. Fine. So
Even by the institute.
yeah, it is by the institute over
Yes,
and
that is
above
seed
the
money.
normal salary.
That is seed money.
Fine, sir.
All right. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. This is fine.
So that's the end of it.
Okay, sir. So I would request now my colleagues in LNMIT as well as online participants that if they have any questions,
Yes.
we will take them now.
Please, please.
So any questions from online participants, you can please type in the chat box. We'll take those. And from the colleagues also, if you have any questions. Professor JP Gupta was at our campus when we had the mock visit of NBSAR in 2023. This time, due to his personal engagement at his home, he could not come personally. We would have loved if he was here with us physically, but again, we should thank sir that he could arrange 2 hours from his busy time.
Thank you, beta. I'm sorry I could not come.
No,
But
sir. Next
I
time,
would have loved
we
to
will
come.
plan. It was a very short notice from our side. Also, next time we'll plan in advance,
Sure.
and we would be very honored to have you.
Thank you.
So, sir, there are no questions now because we kept on interacting in between the talk. And thank you for accommodating all the questions in between the talk.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you,
and thank
God
you,
bless
sir.
you.
So online participants and colleagues, we are having a 15-20 minutes break. At 12 o'clock, we are going to have one online quiz, which is on Canvas platform. All of you would have received one email, which is invitation email to join the course. Please register on Canvas, please join the course. And the quiz will be active at 12 o'clock. It will be active for 2 hours. It is a 30 minutes quiz, 40 questions, MCQs, no negative marking. And I think the criteria was to score more than 60% or something. So please take the quiz. You can take it from your offices or you can take it from here. That is perfectly fine. And let us have a tea break. And then 12 o'clock, we'll start the quiz.